Hurricane force winds pounding the Florida coast. I'm Mike Nasa with the latest on dangerous Hurricane Matthew here on our IPR Tropical Update page on YouTube. You can see the radar here out of, this is from Jacksonville's radar as it continues to track up the coast. A very dangerous hurricane, still a Category 3 officially, and you can see the eye is literally 10 miles. Sorry, been talking a lot the last few days. 10 miles, 20 miles right off the coast of Daytona Beach and Palm Coast. Still a major hurricane, a very powerful eye wall there. Although, this thing did scrape the coast and it avoided a direct landfall, which means that so far, at least, unless this pushes on shore, the United States has not had a major hurricane, Cat 3, 4, or 5, make landfall since October 2005, and that is 11 years, and that is extremely rare. We've been lucky, guys. We've really been lucky. And so if you were down to the south and you think you got lucky with the storm and you're angry that the storm didn't hit you, don't be angry because this was a Category 3 and 4 hurricane just offshore, and had it moved 10, 20 miles west onshore, it would have been so bad that you never would have forgotten it. So don't let this hurricane miss to the south of you here in southeast Florida make you complacent next time a hurricane comes your way. Now, I have the 12 p.m. update. The eye of Hurricane Matthew was actually at 29.4 north and 80.6 west. So it has bumped a little bit west. Maximum sustained winds 120, gusting to 150, especially on the eastern side, which is good news for the coast of Florida, moving north-northwest at about 12 miles per hour, 947 millibars. And we have seen pressures in the 970s so far in the state of Florida, and we just had a wind gust to 91 miles per hour in Daytona Beach. So as this continues to parallel the coast, it's going to get very close to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Still probably be a hurricane tomorrow night off areas of North Carolina, and then of course weaken into a depression as it loops back around towards the Bahamas. Still could have some heavy rainfall though. Of course, we have the watches and warnings out for the entire East Coast, all the way from the Central Florida coast up to North Carolina. As the hurricane loops around, it will weaken, but remember, as it weakens, this wind field will expand, and we're going to have to deal with that. Right now, the wind field is impinging on the Florida coast. Remember, the eye is still offshore, so it has not made a landfall where the center of the eye crosses the coast, but that could still easily happen, and if not in Florida, points north, and if it doesn't even come ashore, you're already having hurricane force winds causing problems, and a lot of storm surge too. St. Augustine, I've just seen video of storm surge pushing in there. Not extremely high yet, but still damaging. There's the infrared satellite imagery. You can see it is not as organized clearly as it was when it was a Category 4 hurricane, but still a major hurricane and still a very powerful one, roaring right up the coastline here. Beautiful visible imagery as we get the sun coming up here and watching the eye just rake the coastline of Florida there. Again, if it had been even a little bit further to the south and west, we would have seen landfall of a major hurricane on Cape Canaveral. So the fact that it missed you just to the east is not necessarily a good thing, because then you get continually buffeted with maybe not winds quite as strong, but certainly gusts to hurricane force, and that could cause a lot of problems, especially in early October. You don't typically see this here. If you do see hurricanes coming to Florida, usually it's from west to east, not east to west. But still, that onshore flow here pushing those storm surges and high tides right into the coastline, high surf, high swells, and a lot of heavy rainfall. Out of Jacksonville, some of those precipitation amounts already have been in the order of 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, and it's probably going to go up. It's probably going to go up because this hurricane is going to turn and scrape the coast, and so you're still going to have the back edge of the hurricane causing rainfall, and if you do want to start to get things cleaned up, that's not going to be good news. Also not going to be good news in the Bahamas, because they got so devastated with the Category 4 hurricane that if it comes back, and even if it's just a rainmaker, that's going to cause a lot of issues for recovery efforts there. Still haven't seen too many pictures out of Grand Bahama Island and certain islands, Andros, Nassau. I'm a little worrisome of what we're going to see from this Category 4 hurricane. Of course, now it's a Category 3. There's the long-range radar out of Jacksonville. You could see a very powerful eye wall there, especially on the eastern side, and it continues to move straight towards the north-northwest. And Brunswick, you're starting to get high wind gusts, and it's going to only get worse up the coast as it bends like this as a hurricane. So nasty weather as we get here in the next 24 hours. We're going to see that weather progress into the Carolinas, and heavy, heavy rainfall with continual storm surge. So a very dangerous hurricane right now. As of the 12 p.m. update, still a Category 3, still a major hurricane. High hurricane force gusts hitting Daytona Beach, up the Florida coastline, heavy rainfall, and a nasty storm surge. Again, if you did not get hit with this storm and you think it wasn't as bad as we said, it was as bad as we said. It just didn't move on shore. And so you should feel lucky. Don't feel angry if you prepared for nothing. You prepared for quite a hurricane, as we're seeing lash Florida right now. I'm Mike Naso. I'll see you guys next time.